And a good Thursday to you. It is the 20th day of September 2018. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is on the air on this, the day before the weekend. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCWLIFE Channel. I hope you ended your day with us. Last night, maybe you caught the news with Grant Olson at our 10 o'clock airing, and then it was time to go to bed, and you went, good night. And you wake up and you turn on your remote, and here we are again. The NCWLIFE Channel got a great show for you today. Usual shenanigans apply. Grant Olson will handle the news in lieu of Steve Hare, who, by the way, is back in the office today, sitting not 15 feet away from where I'm sitting right now. So Steve is back into the fold. Also, we have sports, the obscure holiday today, and history, birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. Kettle cameos with Megan McPherson, because after all, it is Thursday. We'll see if we can get Nico the cat home. I'll introduce you to Nico. That's in the bottom of the hour. And a very special guest coming up in the second half of the program. Set your DVRs. You don't want to miss this. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Ringo Starr will be in our studios. I'm being told something in my earpiece. Ringo is not here? No, okay. Ringo Starr scheduled to be on the show. I emailed him a couple of weeks ago. He never responded, so I simply assumed he was going to show up. Actually, the second half of the program, it's the newest member of our TV family, Cal FitzSimmons, has joined the NCWLIFE Channel team, and Cal will be introducing yourself and himself to our viewing audience here coming up in the back half of the hour. You don't want to miss that. He's almost as fascinating as Ringo Starr. I've discovered that over the last couple of weeks. All right, let's take you around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless, and that is our brand new 4K camera. Located adjacent to the cross at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights, and that doesn't just justice, I would say. That's a pretty good indication of that incredible view from there. Now, again, as you well know by now, we can move these cameras. We can go around in circles. We can go about 45 degrees around. We can't go all the way around because the supporting towers or guy wires and such will block the view. But we can move these things around. We can zoom in and out and up and down. We can do the hokey pokey. It's an amazing tool, and it is a tool, not a toy. So good morning, Wenatchee Valley proper. Let's see what Cat has in store. We always start with the cross camera. After this, it's a guessing game, and I want to say is that Hose Landing? That's Hose Landing. Wow, I guessed right for the first time. I rarely do that. And we're going to move this baby around a little bit. Of course, that's Aniat, beautiful downtown Aniat there. You can see the Aniat Dome, the Aniat Convention Center, the Aniat Hilton. Looks pretty good. Aniat, the gateway to recreation, and of course the Aniat River flowing into the Columbia. And ooh, let's go peek down south, see what's happening. And there, at the very end of your screen, you can see the Wenatchee Valley proper. That's a beautiful view from Hose Landing is what it's called. It's spelt kind of weird, but it's pronounced Hose Landing. Camera number 3 is a beautiful shot of the Chelan area. That is just gorgeous. That's our Lower Butte camera, I want to say, Cat. Is that correct? That's Lower Butte. Sun's just peeking up, and by golly, we're going to move this baby too. Here we go. And we're going to head on up towards Manson in the foothills of Chelan, which continues to grow and thrive and prosper all the way up. There's the Wapato Point, the south shore of Lake Chelan. Can't quite make out the state park. Beautiful day up there. And this is a good time of the year to visit Lake Chelan. Whoa, okay. Now we're really zooming around. Look at that. It's a great time of year to visit Lake Chelan. It really is. The lake is calm. You can go out and do some nice boating. Of course, the lake is considerably cooler than it was a couple of months ago, but Lake Chelan is beautiful year-round. It's a gorgeous area. And finally, camera 4 is a shot of Orondo Rock. That's one of our lower cameras. That's looking up the Columbia River. This is the part, of course, this is just right behind Rocky Reach Dam, so there's not a lot of flow into the Columbia there. It looks more like a lake than it does a river, but trust me, it is a river. Still affectionately called Lake Aniat for many people, even though, of course, it's technically a river. Of course, the original town of Aniat was buried in the early 1960s when Rocky Reach Dam went into existence, and you can see the Chelan area way up at the top of your screen. Good-looking morning and a good-looking week with a little bit of mountain showers. It's possible. We don't know. We don't have the graphic, apparently. It showed up, but it looked about like that. There it is. It's your skinny weather forecast. These things happen in the world of television. Don't look at that. Look at the time lapse. This is a time lapse that Cat took on the Lower Butte camera in the Chelan area. This takes place over the course of about 45 minutes. So that's not real time. Those cars are not driving that fast. Trust me on that. But look at this. Check out the sunrise you're about ready to see over beautiful Lake Chelan. Just a few high clouds, which Makes it look all the more beautiful. Gorgeous shot there. I'll go ahead and just tell you what the weather is. It looks like this. Partly sunny today, high of 71 degrees. We hit 75 yesterday, which was exactly normal. On Wednesday, that would be our normal high. So 71 today, a little cooler than yesterday, mostly cloudy skies tonight. We're going to have a system come in, 52 for the overnight low. It's going to pack a little bit of moisture, but not a lot. As a matter of fact, whatever rain we get, we have a slight chance of some rain Friday night, tomorrow night, 20% chance of showers, but most of that will be in the mountain area. Probably Leavenworth into the plain, Lake Wenatchee, then spinning up and around into the Omak-Okanagan area and then back down on the other side. We will probably be dry on Friday night. Certainly going to be cloudy. 55 at the overnight low. Saturday and Sunday, there's a lot going on this weekend all over the Wenatchee Valley and all over north central Washington. And Mother Nature is going to give us a very nice weekend. Sunshine on Saturday and 73. And Sunday, the first full day of autumn. Sunshine and 71. That's a friendly reminder. The autumnal equinox is at 6:54 on Saturday night, and from that point forward, the days will get considerably shorter. Sunrise this morning, 6:45. Sunset tonight, 7:02. Sunrise tomorrow, 6:46. Sunset Friday night, 7 o'clock sharp. And then, of course, after that, sunrise will be before 7 and then before 6 eventually, or sunset, I should say. So, yeah, the days are getting shorter. And again, Sunday, the first full day of autumn. But next week, the long-term forecast, Monday's high 74, 77 Tuesday, 78 next Wednesday. So we're still going to have a little bit of summer weather, even though it will officially be autumn by this time next week. It is 7 minutes after the hour. As we mentioned before, Steve Harris taking some well-deserved days off, but he's back in the saddle again. But the news will be brought to you courtesy of our friends Grant Olson and sponsored by our friends at Cascade Medical. Train with a physical therapist who loves the outdoors as much as you do. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
The physical therapists at Cascade Medical love the outdoors as much as you do. But sometimes where there's love, there's also pain. Let us help you get back to the activities that you love. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
This is the NCWLIFE Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. Jurassic Quest is happening Friday through Sunday at the Town Toyota Center. Kids can check out the dinosaur exhibit, science stations, fossil digs, inflatables, and more. Bring the family to the Wenatchee River Salmon Festival happening this Saturday at the Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery. There will be education, hands-on activities, entertainment, and more. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Grant Olson in for Steve Hare with a look at your morning news update. Douglas County investigators' worst fear came true late Tuesday afternoon when the bodies of 2 missing people were found in the rubble of a house fire in Bridgeport. Douglas County Sheriff Kevin Morris says although the identity of the deceased cannot be positively confirmed until an autopsy is conducted, it is believed the bodies belong to 53-year-old Paul S. Desjardins and his wife, 57-year-old Sandra Desjardins. The Desjardins reportedly worked at the Gamble Sands Golf Course in Brewster. 2 other occupants of the residence escaped the fire unharmed. Morris says the cause and circumstances of that deadly fire are still under investigation. Well, the man who escaped police custody by jumping into the Wenatchee River was sentenced Monday to 45 days in jail plus 2 months of electronic home monitoring. 24-year-old Brandon Allen of Ferndale will also have to pay $1,495 in fines and fees and must forfeit his driver's license for 2 years and serve 5 years probation. Washington State troopers say Allen appeared to suffer a panic attack while a state trooper was transporting him to the Chelan County Jail shortly after midnight on August 23rd. The trooper stopped near Dryden to check on Allen and call for an ambulance. Allen then jumped down a 25-foot embankment into the Wenatchee River while handcuffed. Allen was found about 40 minutes later hiding behind a rock in waist-deep water and refused to exit the river. A state trooper and a Chelan County Sheriff's deputy waded into the river and took Allen into custody without incident. Allen was booked into the Chelan County Jail on numerous charges, including DUI, driving with a suspended license, third-degree escape, and an outstanding warrant. The Wenatchee School Board will hold a special board meeting on Monday, September 24th at 9:30 a.m. in the main boardroom at the Wenatchee School District office. The board will vote on which search firm they will choose to conduct a comprehensive superintendent search to replace Brian Flonis. This meeting is open to the public. Originally planned for the September 25th regular board meeting, the vote was changed to September 24th to better accommodate board member schedules. Wenatchee Superintendent Brian Flonis announced his departure last spring and will conclude his career as the superintendent in August of 2019. The 2018-2019 school year will be Flonis's 19th year as superintendent and 32nd year in the Wenatchee School District. An update now tonight, J.D. Greening, or this morning I should say, J.D. Greening of Waterville says he now realizes he did not run the entire Wenatchee Marathon after questions were raised about the qualifying time he submitted from the Wenatchee race that earned him entry into the prestigious Boston Marathon. NCWLIFE reported Tuesday that Greening's Wenatchee time was listed in official records as being for only a half marathon. Greening, who was a candidate earlier this year for 12th District House seat, on Tuesday insisted race organizers were wrong, but Wednesday said he was confused during the race and indeed did not run a second loop to complete the full marathon. As a result, he will not be running in Boston. He briefly had a GoFundMe page seeking help with travel costs to Boston, but removed the page when questions were raised about his qualifying time. Quote, he says, "I'm embarrassed, but it was never my aim to deceive people. I genuinely believed I ran the full course and felt great about it," Greening said. In other news, the Tony Award-winning play Dancing Al Lunasa begins its three-day run Thursday night at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. The production, a collaboration between the Icicle Creek Center for the Arts and the Mission Creek Players, includes acting, singing, and dancing, as Kathy Smithen explained on a recent visit right here to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Dancing at Lunasa is about five sisters in 1930s Ireland, and their plight in life, and none of them have been married. All of them have to survive on their own means and sustenance, and times are changing in the 30s in Ireland, and so it's their struggle. But it's a beautiful story of these five sisters who love to sing, and Henry cast singers, and they're so talented, and they dance. So everybody loves Irish music, Irish songs, Irish dancing, Irish music, and that's what the show is filled with. So their lamenting of their songs, their joy of sharing together, the joy of the sound of music is beautiful in Dancing at Lunasa.
The play begins tonight and will run tomorrow and on the 22nd. Tickets are available at the door or by visiting the Numerica PAC website. Well, historic Locomotive Park in Wenatchee may be getting a new name. Earlier this year, the city received a request from the Lions Club to change the name of the 15-acre park to Lions Locomotive Park. The Wenatchee Arts, Recreation and Parks Commission is now accepting comments on the proposed name change or nominations for other possible names. The park at 1100 South Wenatchee Avenue was established in 1951. Comments can be submitted by calling the city. That phone number is 888-3284, or by stopping by the Parks office at 1350 McKittrick Street, or by emailing Cami Coble at Wenatchee WA. Nomination forms or other potential names can be picked up at the McKittrick Street offices. Deadline for submissions is October 26th. The Wenatchee Valley YMCA is looking for mentors for their Meant to Be program. NCWLIFE's Megan McPherson tells us more.
Our
Mentor program is a community-based mentorship program where we match mentors and mentees together. The mentees are from the ages of 8 to 17, and our mentors are 18 or over. And they either meet here at the YMCA to do physical activity or hang out in the teen center, or they go out into the community and they ride bikes or they meet up for lunch, and they're just building a relationship together. In order to sign up to become a mentor, you would contact myself here at the YMCA. They would complete an application, and then once we screen the application, they go through a background check, an interview process, and then they do an 8-hour training. And then from there, we make sure that they're a good fit for the program, and then we would connect them with the appropriate child. The type of person that we're looking for as a mentor is somebody willing and caring, just willing to spend time with a child a couple times a month. An adult that is responsible and just wanting to give back to the community. So we have a training that is going to be October 20th, so if I could get the applications soon before that to sign them up for the training, that'd be great. But besides that, we are taking applications all year.
One of the reasons we Meant to Be is the name of the program, started was it was a CASA program, and CASA realized that there were so many kids in the community that could potentially really gain some skills and some relationships from this program, and perhaps they weren't the best organization because they could only help foster kids. So we wanted to bring that to the Valley and broaden that. And one of the biggest things that I see is that we currently serve, there's, the divorce rate and a lot of single parents. We all need support in our families, and sometimes we move here without those families, and sometimes we have families that are divided, and our kids are missing out on some of that positive adult relationship, and we're all very busy, and as parents and as single parents, we're even busier. So we realized early on that it would be a different approach, and we'd probably get some different mentors as well, not just necessarily retired teachers or retired counselors, but really that adult coach that wants to help our kids. And whether it's playing 15 minutes of basketball in the gym and hanging out in the youth center here, or going out to the movies, or going to the bowling alley, these kids need our undivided attention for the time that we can give them. And that's really what the mentor program is about, and why Meant to Be came to be at the Y.
And that's a look at your Thursday morning news headlines. I'm Grant Olson in for Steve Hare, and please join me later today for the NCWLIFE Evening News at 5, 6, and 10. Until then, have a great day.
Thank you very much, Grant. We appreciate your efforts. 18 minutes after the hour. Hey, we have a weather graphic, we think. Yes, there it is. There, now you can visually see what the forecast is from the National Weather Service. While you glance at that, I'll give you some temperatures from around north central Washington. Right now up in Manson, you're at 54 degrees. Chelan checks in at 50 degrees. Beautiful downtown Dryden is at 49. Suburban Dryden is also at 49 degrees. Cashmere, you're at 51. Moses Lake, good morning, 48. Afraid is at 46. In downtown Wenatchee, we have fair skies at 52 degrees. And as you see there, slight chance of some mountain rain Friday night into Saturday. The valley itself proper will probably be, for the most part, dry, and we're going to have a very pleasant weekend both Saturday and Sunday. And you see that warming trend, and you see that giant leaf right over the top of Sunday, because that's the first full day of autumn. So there's your weather forecast. The temperatures today and tomorrow a little bit below normal, then we go above normal by the time we get to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Up next week, a very pleasant autumnal forecast for you. 19 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got sports, we got the obscure holiday, we have Today in History, we have birthdays, we have kennel cameos, we have Everyone is Entitled to Mike Magnotti's Opinion, and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Ringo Starr in, that's right, he's not coming in. Cal FitzSimmons will be in as well. You'll like it. It'll be a good conversation. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 17 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCWLIFE Channel.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been. It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
Only one country could build a truck like this. Designed in California, engineered in Michigan, tested in Arizona, and assembled in Mississippi. Powered by Cummins of Indiana. The all-new Nissan Titan. It's an American classic. Is it on your list? Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
Welcome back. Happy Thursday. Let's talk sports. The Wenatchee Wild enter 2018 as the defending BCHL champions. I'll never get tired of saying that. And by far their most successful year in franchise history. So the notoriety of last year's campaign may have resulted in some of their very best players not coming back this year because, heck, they were noticed by other clubs. Wild head coach and general manager Bliss Littler says he likes the mix that he has on this year's team.
We're a development league. That whatever that next level is, that's great. That, you know, we did lose the Dorsey boy who's hometown here. That he's starting the year with the Tri-City Americans, and we lost the Svikowski kid to the Vancouver Giants, and then we had another one that we expected back, but he ended up going. The college brought him in a year before they said they're going to. But other than that, we had a good summer. We didn't lose any recruits. We like the group that's here. We like the veterans that are here. I think we'll have a few ups and downs the first month and a half, but then I think we're going to develop into a really good hockey team.
The Wild played a lot of hockey last year, 58 games in the regular season, 35 additional games in the playoffs before they finally lost in the semifinals of the RBC Cup. That was on May 19th. Littler said it was a short off season, but it was a heck of a lot better than the previous summer.
2 summers ago, I didn't sleep very well. My whole staff, we were like angry all summer because we felt we had the best team. We won the banner for the regular season, but we didn't get to prove it in the playoffs with the injuries that we had. That was a tough summer. This past year, it was a short summer, but not finishing off. It hurt, but it didn't. It was a few days later you got through it because we played great up there. We didn't lose a game till the last one, and I think it was 51-11 were the shots that we outplayed. And we played a very good hockey game that you'd probably win 19 out of 20 games if you played that well. Yeah, that's just hockey.
Wild are off to a good start this year, 4-1 so far in the young campaign. They're in Chilliwack this weekend for the BCHL Showcase. All right, let's do the prep sports calendar. Let's take a look, see what's happening today. That says Saturday. Trust me, that's not Saturday. This is today. Manson hosts Pateras. Cashmere travels to Chelan. This is 4:30. Eastmont will host Sunnyside, and Wenatchee is on the road at Moses Lake at 7 o'clock. That's all. Soccer, volleyball schedule, chock full of action today. In Caribou Trail League, Cascade will host Omak. Cashmere is at Chelan. Those get underway at 6:30. On the B floors tonight, it's Pateras at Antioch. Manson takes on Waterville Mansfield at 7. Eastmont on the road to take on Eisenhower at 7 tonight in Big 9 play. And right here on the NCWLIFE Channel, our very first live volleyball match, Wenatchee hosts Davis. Eric Grandstrom and Leanne Brandon will be courtside with the play-by-play. We'll get going with the broadcast at about 6:50, and they'll serve it up at 7. If you can't make it to the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium, you can watch it right here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Everybody into the pool. Let's go swimming. Wenatchee hosts a double duel with Davis and Eisenhower in town beginning at 4 o'clock this afternoon. They call it Bullpen Day. That's when the starter from the rotation doesn't go, and instead they use a bullpen guys all through the bullpen to get through the game. That was the case for the Mariners yesterday in Houston. For the second time this road trip, they had a bullpen day, and they came through with a shutout. Matt Fest made his first ever major league start for Seattle. He and 6 relievers, you heard me right, held the defending world champions to just 5 hits and a 9-0 shutout of the Astros. Kyle Seager, Mitch Haniger, and Guillermo Heredia each hit solo home runs in the 11-hit outburst. Manager Scott Service tipped his cap to Fest and the rest of the bullpen for their good job on the mound.
Obviously, to throw 9 zeros up there, it's hard to do, certainly against this team in this ballpark, but our guys are really sharp tonight. Got to give them a ton of credit. A few of them hadn't pitched in a long, long time, and they went out there and threw strikes and, got soft contact early in the count, and it was a great result tonight.
Robinson Cano, 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Mitch Haniger, 2 for 3. He scored 3 runs. Gene Segura, 2 for 4 with a couple of runs. Service can't help but wonder, where was that towards, like a couple of weeks ago? Where was the offense?
I think that was the frustrating thing going through the struggles we did in August, early September. Is it's in there. It wasn't consistently there. It's showing up, and the lineup just wasn't flowing. But again, Cano swings the bat really well again tonight. Seager, smokes a couple balls. Just up and down the lineup, the quality of the bats have been there on this road trip. That's why we're having a good road trip. It's been driven by offense and, our pitching. Again, night like tonight, we had one of the bullpen nights shut out over in Anaheim. Everybody chipping in and doing their part.
So Seattle takes 2 of 3 from the Astros. They won the season series against the defending world champions. The Mariners won 9 from Houston and lost 8. The Mariners are off today. They begin a 3-game series in Texas tomorrow to the Les Schwab scoreboard from the American League West. Stephen Piscotty, a homer, drove in 5 runs. He powered the A's to a 10-0 win over the Angels. That lowers Oakland's magic number to make the playoffs to 6. Tommy Pham hit a couple of home runs. The Rays put up crooked numbers in the 2nd and 4th innings. They knocked off Texas 9-3, so they complete the sweep, and they keep the wild card race rather interesting. Tampa Bay, 5.5 games back of Oakland for the final wild card spot with 11 games remaining, all against the Blue Jays and the Yankees. Seattle 7 games back, 10 games left to play. They close out with the Rangers and the Athletics, and those are just some of the games that people are playing at 26 minutes after the hour. It's time for the obscure holiday of the day today. September 20th is National Punch Day. There you go. A big heaping bowl of punch will do you well. Food historians believe that punch originated in India because the word punch comes from the word panch, which means 5. It's Hindu for 5. It's thought that the original punch in India had 5 ingredients. In the 17th century, because England owned India, for lack of a better term, it made its way to the European mainland, and after that it spread all over Europe. Very popular drink. It's served at parties, family gatherings, weddings, of course. Punch has lost its popularity over the years, but it's still a great beverage to have at large events. You dig out the punch bowl. A lot of people, a punch bowl is like a family heirloom. It's been handed down from generation to generation. So make your favorite punch and share it with family and friends. And remember, punch does not have to be alcoholic. 27 minutes after the hour. Today in history. Busy day. Lots of things happened on September 20th. 56 years ago today, James Meredith, there he is temporarily barred from entering the University of Mississippi. And this began about a 10-day, I don't know the best way to put it. It was an ugly 10 days at Ole Miss. James Meredith wanted to enroll. The governor said no. There was court injunctions. Eventually, the National Guard was brought in. There was rioting on the campus in Oxford, Mississippi. I kid you not, all because an African-American wanted to attend the University of Mississippi. The governor of Mississippi, Ross Barnett, ended up on the wrong side of history here. He said, no school will be integrated to Mississippi while I am your governor. It was a bad stretch of 10 days down in Mississippi, and it began in the state 56 years ago today, September 20th, 1962. The photo you're about ready to see is right after John Lennon, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, and George Harrison signed their brand new contract with their manager, Alan Klein. After this meeting was over, right after this photo was taken, John Lennon privately informed the other members of the Beatles that he would no longer be a member of the group. They decided to keep it quiet. John Lennon told the other 3 members of the Beatles on this date in 1969 they would be leaving the group once they got all their business differences settled. And of course, Paul McCartney beat him to it. Happened on this date 49 years ago today. September 20th, 1971, Hurricane Irene became Hurricane Olivia. How did that happen? Well, it made landfall, as you see there, in Nicaragua in the previous day. It crossed over Central America. Hurricane Irene I'm talking about. It regained enough strength once it got into the Pacific Ocean that it became a hurricane again, and they renamed it Hurricane Olivia. It is the first known hurricane to cross from the Atlantic into the Pacific. It happened on September 20th, 1971, 47 years ago today. September 20th, 1980, 38 years ago today. There it is. Spectacular Bid wins the Woodward Stakes at Belmont Park in New York. As you can see, Spectacular Bid won going away. Spectacular Bid was the only horse in the race. Nobody else would race Spectacular Bid. So they ran the race anyway because you got to, you know, it's a big race for 4-year-old horses. The owner of Spectacular Bid told the jockey William Shoemaker, "Here are your instructions for the Woodward Stakes. Don't fall off the horse. That's all you got to do." They, as you might imagine, took no bets. Spectacular Bid won all by himself on this day 38 years ago today. And this is the 36th anniversary of the NFL strike. You remember this? First time ever that they had a strike in the National Football League. The National Football League players walked off the job and stayed off the job for 57 days. There were no NFL games to air, so CBS the next Sunday replayed the Super Bowl. They aired Division III football. They aired, I'm not kidding you, on national TV on Sunday, they aired the Baldwin-Wallace-Wittenberg game. What a classic that was. NBC acquired the rights to the Canadian Football League, and for the next 4 Sundays, they televised Canadian football, which nobody watched, and they quit doing it. And finally, after 57 days, they came to an agreement, and the NFL players went back to work. And my guess is there will be another strike when the collective bargaining agreement expires next year. Just a theory. Birthdays. Rocky and Bullwinkle is my all-time favorite cartoon. It really is. Jay Ward and Jay Ward Productions created Rocky and Bullwinkle. Super Chicken, Tom Slick, George of the Jungle, Peabody and Sherman, Dudley Do Right, all those classic cartoons were created by the very funny and very talented Jay Ward, who passed away in 1989 at the age of 69. Rocky and Bullwinkle, you gotta love it. Happy birthday to Jay Ward, we miss him. Sophia Loren, the Italian actress, is 84 and looking good. She has a couple of Academy Awards on her shelf, completely retired now from Hollywood. She's just living the good life. Sophia Loren, happy 84th birthday, 84 for Sophia Loren today. Dale Chihuly celebrates a birthday. He's 77 years old today, born and raised in Tacoma, of course. He wears the eye patch. In 1976, he was visiting Great Britain. He was involved in a head-on car accident, and he went through the windshield, and he was blinded in his left eye. After that, he continued to blow glass. He recovered, he got better. And then he was in a body surfing accident in 1979, and he couldn't hold the pipe anymore. So he hasn't actually blown glass since 1979. He designs them, and he has other people do it. Dale Chihuly is 77 years old today. And Stearns Eason, we lost Stearns earlier this week. There's Stearns. He died earlier this week at the age of 104. I got introduced to Stearns Eason by my mutual friend and our mutual friend, Bonnie Orr. He was a great guy. He would have been 105 years old today. He almost made it. The legendary Stearns Eason. What a well-lived life. We're going to miss you, Stearns. Just wanted to get that out there. 32 minutes after the hour. If you know somebody who's celebrating a birthday, you can submit it to us. Go to our Facebook page, private message us. Hey, Dan, I got a friend or a relative or a coworker who's celebrating a birthday, and we'll do our very best to get it on the air, all right? All right, we're going to take a quick break. We got Everyone is Entitled to Mike McNaughty's Opinion, and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Ringo That's right, he's not in. Cal FitzSimmons will be joining me. But first, let's get Nico the cat home. It's Kennel Cameos with Megan McPherson.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCWLIFE Channel. We are here with Renee Parkins, the Development Officer of the Wenatchee Humane Society, and joining us this week is Nico. Yeah. So what's going on with Nico?
Well, Nico's been here since the beginning of June, and he is a great cat. He came in with a sister, and she was adopted, and so now he's just slowly waiting for his forever home too. But he's a good boy. He's fun. He likes to play, and he's 5 months old, so he's still very much a kitten, but he's kind of past a little bit of that crazy kittenness, which I think is the perfect age. If you're going to adopt a kitten, it's a great age to get one. So,
how do you think he would be around kids and other cats, dogs?
I think around other cats he'll be okay. Like I said, he came in with a sister, and I've watched him kind of react to other cats at the shelter, and he seems pretty okay with it. I'm not sure about dogs or small children. He can sometimes be a little skittish at first. He's pretty inquisitive, but he may just, be fine and then go along with them. So.
All right, and if someone wants to adopt Nico, what should they do?
They just need to come down to the shelter and meet him. We have some great get acquainted rooms that you can take him in there and get to know him. And if you do have little ones, that would be a great time to kind of see how he is going to react to that. And then you can adopt him and take him home today.
Awesome. Do you have anything to say, Nico? The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. Kennel Cameos is supported in part by Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory in Leavenworth. Not only does the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory have great house-made fudge and super delicious candy and caramel apples, but they also have great doggy treats for your four-legged friends, located at 636 Front Street in Leavenworth. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley. Christian Shaman here with Bay Equity Home Loans.
Make your dream of building your own home a reality today. Bay Equity Home Loans has teamed up with Real Homes to make building your new home a smooth process. Bay Equity Home Loans of Wenatchee offers new construction loans, FHA 3.5% down, and VA 100% construction loans.
Stop on by or give us a call today.
Jurassic Quest is coming. See the largest and most realistic dinosaur event in North America. Experience the sights and sounds of living, breathing, even walking dinosaurs. Over 80 true-to-life size dinosaurs and counting. It's educational, fun, and hands-on. Uncover huge fossils like a real paleontologist. Ride the big 24-foot dinosaurs. Enter the towering dinosaur inflatables. This event has doubled in size. Town Toyota Center in Wenatchee. This Friday through Sunday only. For guaranteed admission, get tickets now at JurassicQuest.com.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
It's the 28th annual Wenatchee River Salmon Festival this Saturday at the historic Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery. Visit the Native American Village, be eye to eye with the fish in the giant aquarium, play salmon games, and visit the exhibitors including the Reptile Man, plus Birds of Prey and other performances. And as always, the Wenatchee River Salmon Festival is absolutely free. This Saturday, September 22nd from 10 to 5. For more information, swim to their website, salmonfest.org.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
NCWLIFE Channel is proud to present the Spotlight on Business. We're going behind the scenes to bring you the story of local businesses throughout North Central Washington. How did they get started? And why are they so successful? We'll answer these and other questions each week with Spotlight on Business, Sundays through Fridays on the NCWLIFE Channel.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, there's a lot of argument these days about capitalism and whether or not some people have too much money. Well, honestly, I have to agree. I think some people do have too much money, but also, honestly, who's to say who has too much and what too much is? You, me? Now, one truth is, to many people in third world countries, the average American, you and me, for example, we have too much money. We have more than enough food, little concerns about personal safety, and the lifestyle of most of us exceeds that of millionaires 100 years ago. So again, what's too much and who gets to say? Something to consider. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local-Tel. Goodfellow Charity Golf Classic is this Friday at the Wenatchee Golf and Country Club. Come for a fun-filled day of golf to raise funding and awareness for the Chelan Douglas CASA program. Manson Hydrofest is this Saturday and Sunday at Manson Bay Marina. There will be lots of seating in the park, great food, and fun for the whole family. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
This is State Representative Kerry Kandata inviting you to watch our new and improved 12th District 2.0 show. Now featuring more information on federal, state, and local issues in a leaner, faster format. Guest hosts John Wise and Shiloh Shower bring it all home with yours truly, Kerry Kandata. Why do we call it 2.0? Because just like me, it's the stronger, faster, and lighter version of today's politics. Also available on demand at ncwlife.com.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we have a brand new member of our television family who joined our group, about 3 weeks ago now, still getting his feet wet, but we thought it'd be a good time for you in the television world to get to know our brand new friend and employee. Please welcome the new news director and the new sales director for the NCWLIFE Channel, Cal FitzSimmons. Hello, Cal.
Hello, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah.
You've been here about 3 weeks, still getting your feet wet. So obviously, my first question in your role as news director and sales director, who's not cutting it?
Well, I don't want to point any fingers just yet, Dan. But no, but seriously, it's fulfilling a bucket list to work with you, So, yeah.
There goes my ego.
Yeah, I've long admired your work, especially as mayor.
Yeah, you're confusing me with my brother Frank.
Ooh, that's awkward.
Which happens actually quite often. So.
Yeah. Well, anyway, still great to be with you.
Still, yeah. And again, Ringo Starr was a late cancellation, so Cal agreed to come on board. Little something about Cal. Give Cal FitzSimmons 101. Give us your bio.
Will do. Okay. I was born and raised in Spokane. I was in the Navy for 4 years, and then after that, I went to Eastern Washington University, studied journalism, and then I embarked on a newspaper career throughout the Northwest. I worked in Baker City, Oregon, Pendleton, Oregon, Tri-Cities, Missoula, Montana, Longview, Washington, and then eventually in Wenatchee.
So you obviously wanted to stay in the Pacific Northwest. You wanted to stay in this area.
I did. I love the Pacific Northwest. My only problem I had on that whole adventure there was all the rain in Longview. I was like, this is not for me. I need to get over to the dry side again. And opportunity became available in Wenatchee, and here I am.
At what point in your upbringing in Spokane did you say, I like stories, I like to tell stories, I like to be informed, I'm naturally curious. I think journalism might be my calling. At what point did you get the bug?
It started, Dan, because I knew I had a limited skill set.
Welcome to television. You don't need any.
Perfect then.
Yeah.
No, I was a good writer, though. I could write. And I thought, well, what sort of employment could I get with having that skill? I could write the great American novel, or I could go into journalism, and I started looking at that, and I started getting more deeply into the news, local, national, world, and I found I had a skill for it, and I'm really happy that that's the direction I took.
And so you've been a journalist professionally since when?
Well,
you don't have to date yourself. You can make up a date.
A few decades now.
Okay.
Yeah. I was it's hard to say I was a professional journalist while I was in college, but I was working at Spokesman Review. I did an internship with United Press International, which dates me there itself.
Yeah, because UPI doesn't exist anymore, I don't believe. Are they still,
they're still around,
okay.
yeah, but nothing like they used to be. But that was pretty much when I started. But my professional career, paid employment at a news organization was in Baker City, Oregon. It's a small paper that there were 2 reporters there, myself and one other person, and we worked like crazy and wrote and uncovered scandals and all that other stuff. So,
is there a specific beat that you enjoyed more than others? Because all journalists, especially when you start out, you kind of got to cover everything. You got to cover the bake sale for the Red Cross, and you got to go to the city council meetings and everything in between.
Yeah, for sure. I liked the courtroom. I liked the drama that played out during trials. I liked covering the police, crime but I also enjoyed where I could put my writing skills to the best use was in the feature stories, telling the stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and that's the opportunity you get to stretch your writing skills in that sort of story.
And in journalism, when we talk about hard news and soft news, hard news is actually, for the most part, easier to write because it's so factually based. The accident happened here, and this was the victim here, and this blah, blah, blah. And you just have to figure out how to fill in the dots. Writing feature stories and doing profiles is much more challenging, isn't it?
It really is, because you want to do justice to the person that you're writing about or the people that you're writing about. And you want to engage the reader in the story so that they will stay with it and actually become a participant in the story itself. So it is a challenge, but the other part had its challenges too. I mean, there's a lot of facts you need to get right. The dates, times, spellings of names, and all that other stuff that can get you in trouble if you don't get it right.
When President Trump calls media and journalists enemies of the people, does that bug you?
Sometimes it does, but mostly I see what he's doing is playing to his base, which holds many of the same opinions about the media. But I think I've always been a community journalist. I cover the stuff that's going on in the street, not that you live on, not the national politics to where I'm going to be taking sides and all of that. It's 90-something% of what we do has nothing to do with that. So,
when you combine all the media outlets, this television station, radio stations that has news departments such as Coho and KPQ, and then you have the Wenatchee World and various other entities, are the people in North Central Washington well served? Are they well informed, you think?
I think they are. I mean, there's various news organizations in this town that try to get the majority of what people want to see and read, but it's a challenging business, especially in newspapers where that business model is collapsing on itself, and it's more difficult to have the sort of staffs that you would like to have. I was with the Wenatchee World for 8 years, and the staffing at that place is significantly less now than what it was. I mean, there's still really good journalists over there doing really good work, but it's more of a challenge.
I, for one, hate to see newspapers fall down and go boom. And it's been happening across the board, massive cuts in newsrooms and things like that as newspapers continue to see their numbers decline. I think it's bad. I think it's really bad to see newspapers struggling because it's just one more conduit of information that isn't as good as it used to be.
Well, I certainly agree with you on that, Dan. I think the more journalists that are out there in your community working, the better served you are being informed, and you can go into issues with a base of knowledge that you're not going to get unless you have that sort of thing. But I'm excited about NCWLIFE.
Yeah.
This is a different medium for me, and the idea of visual storytelling appeals to me very much. I'm excited about the talented staff here. I mean, you have a lot of good people. You have Steve Hare, a veteran journalist in this area. You have Grant Olson, yourself, and
Don't forget, and Kat.
Kat in there,
Kat in
yeah.
control there.
Kat's very skilled.
Yeah.
You know, she even makes you look good somehow. So I'm impressed with a lot of the people here, and they're not just in news gathering, but you know, like I said, the storytelling, and on the sales side of things, we produce some excellent commercials here for clients, and it takes them into a new realm of advertising and getting their message out to the public that is very valuable. The commercials themselves become the property of the people who buy them, and then they use them on their social media and their digital to enhance their sales efforts. And I think what NCWLIFE offers is special to this community.
Cal, as I mentioned before, was with the Wenatchee World for 8 years. Most people, I don't know how many people remember this, but way back in the mid-1980s, there was a local television station here in this town. They were located in the upstairs of the old KPQ building. It was known as KCWT, which is an acronym for Central Washington Television. They made a go of it. They lasted about a year and a half. They had a local news staff and a local newscast, and didn't make it. Business model just wasn't there. I don't think the Valley was big enough to handle a television station from a profitability standpoint. Things have changed, haven't they?
Well, they definitely have. I mean, this you've been on what, about 2 years now?
Yeah, about 2 years.
Yeah, you've come a tremendously long ways in that short period of time. I mean, the idea of saying, let's start a television station, and then actually doing it. I mean, it's very impressive what's been done here in that short period of time. What I'm here to do is help you get to the next level, and then take all the credit for all the work you've already done.
Let's take Eastern Washington University, the Screaming Eagles, a great organization. If you have if there's a 19-year-old kid who's starting his college career, would you and he thinks he could be a good journalist, would you encourage him to pursue journalism as a career, knowing it doesn't pay a lot and the jobs are not getting bigger, they're getting smaller?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
No,
that's straight up honest.
No, in fact, I've said this to many high school and college students, is that this business, we have always been lower paid, but you sort of lived off your ideals. You believed you were doing something very important for your community. So you had that sense of a mission there that is hard to continue when there are so many cutbacks and the expectations for what you do are so great that you start to feel like a commodity rather than but you know, that I still believe in journalism very much, and I believe in the value of it. It's just that I would not recommend taking on $60,000 in student loans in order to make a wage that will have you paying them back in 40 years.
Journalism was and should be a higher calling. The natural curiosity and the telling of stories and the telling of truth and informing the public has always been, in my opinion, a higher calling. I've always enjoyed working with top flight journalists. I get something out of it. I like it.
I mean, it's exciting too, and it's fun. You know, when I say I don't encourage people to go into journalism, I say that knowing that it is one of the most fun jobs you could possibly imagine. Every day you start with a blank slate, and you go out and you gather the information and you present it to people, and you know it's important, and you interact with a whole bunch of new people and learn something new every day. I mean, that's a very satisfying thing.
I didn't say it, and I wish I had, but I'm going to throw this quote at you, and I'm going to ask if you agree or disagree. News isn't, again, this is not somebody else's quote. This is not my quote. News today isn't better nor worse than it was 20 years ago. There's just more of it. Do you agree with that?
Well, to a degree. I mean, it depends on what you consider news. I mean, there are fewer reporters out there working today than there were in the past. But there's also this digital world where information is being generated and shared at a rapid rate to where information is getting out there. Of course, the issue with that is sorting through the clutter and finding the truth of what is in there. You don't always have the journalistic background when you're writing a blog and declaring your opinion on a certain issue, that, you know, nobody's vetting that or editing it for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there is more news out there the value of it, I don't know that it's any greater.
Yeah, citizen journalists, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, we've gotten some really good, important news leads from our viewers, but then on the other side of the coin, somebody can post a rumor and it takes off on Twitter, it takes off on Facebook, and it has absolutely zero basis in fact, but by the time it's reposted for the 5th time, people believe it.
That's fact, yeah.
It's disturbing.
You see it on all news websites too, legitimate news places like NCWLIFE. If you go to our social media, our Facebook page, we post a story that has a little bit of controversy to it, and people immediately start weighing in, and they're offering up opinions and what they believe to be facts connected to that story, and then you have to start sorting through that to find out what the truth is.
Is journalism by definition reporting news is essentially a deviation from the norm, and therefore it is negative by connotation? I mean, Mount St. Helens sits there and doesn't erupt. It's not news. Mount St. Helens erupts and kills 80 people. It's news, although it's really bad. Do people understand that?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and there's some truth to that. I mean, if a news broadcast is filled with crime, murder, mayhem, car wrecks, that's the exception to what went on in your community that day. Mm-hmm. Most people drove around safely without wrecking their car.
Right.
Most people went to work, went through their day without killing anybody.
A plane took off from Pangbourne, landed at Seatock, and everybody got off the plane.
Exactly. Yeah. So what you're reporting is an aberration from the reality of daily life. You hope, it stays that way. But it is news nonetheless. People want to know, why were all those police cars, the fire trucks and stuff going to this location on this day at this time? And your obligation is to let them know about that.
After you left the Wenatchee world and came to be a part of our television family, obviously at that point you made a decision, you're here to stay. I know you moved all over the place, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Everything from Pendleton to Longview to Baker City to Spokane, but is Wenatchee your home? Is this it, Cal?
This is it, Dan. I'm
Yeah?
tired of moving around. Plus, I don't think my wife and family will tolerate any more of it. So, I have an interesting story about how I came to be aware of Wenatchee.
Yeah, please do. I'd love to hear it.
I was vacationing here with my family. My kids were younger at the time, and my oldest son, we were in Leavenworth, and he developed appendicitis, and while we were hiking, his appendix burst. Yeah, I mean
that's like real bad.
It was, and we felt like terrible parents for not recognizing sooner that we had a serious situation on our hands.
Well, you were a terrible parent, Cal. I'm saying that right now.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of blaming the wife on that.
There you go.
But no, he was not showing the pain. He was hiding it. He still does that. He's very good at
guys do that,
gutting it out. Yeah. But he was rushed from Leavenworth to the hospital here in Wenatchee, and emergency operation, and he ended up staying here a little over a week, I think. And my wife Jill said, I really like this community. I would like to live here. Could you be the editor of the Wenatchee World? And somebody else had the job at the time, so I thought, probably not. But a couple of years later, when I was contacted by a search firm, they were looking for a new managing editor, and he contacted me and said, "Are you interested in Wenatchee?" And I said, "I am." So here I am.
Well, we're glad you're here. We got a couple of minutes left. Talk about the NCWLIFE Channel. What you've been observing us. You were brought in a little bit to kind of help us out. Now you're here full time as news director and sales director. First of all, Steve here is not going anywhere. Steve is super happy to see you.
Yeah. Well, Steve and I are going to work very well together, and I think we're going to do some great things news-wise. So I'm excited about working with Steve.
One thing that you'll notice if you ever hang around the bullpen and around here, the people who work here have a real passion for their job. We didn't mention Eric, who just loves sports.
Yeah.
You get Eric in on any kind of a local sporting conversation. He's just all over that.
I think Eric can do anything. I mean, the guy is a natural.
Yeah.
And he's really good with just about every aspect of what goes on here.
So we're really excited to have Cal on board, and we're as you might imagine, we're up in the ante. We're going to kind of keep cranking out and getting better and better and better as this become less and less an experiment and more of a going concern. People want to get a hold of you, Cal, they can email you, welcome you on board, cal@ncwlife.com. In the minute we have left, any closing comments?
Yeah, we have an opening for a sales position, and like Dan said, cal@ncwlife.com. We're doing great things here. We have an exciting future, and if you're a salesperson, drop me an email.
This is it's also a fun place to work. One thing that Cal, as I mentioned before, I've been in broadcasting almost my entire professional life, and I got into broadcasting because I didn't want to work for a living. And I've been able to absorb and sponge in a lot of different information from a lot of really talented people. And this is a really cool place to work, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Cal FitzSimmons, our brand new news director and sales director. So who's not gotten it?
Dan, that's going to come out later at our personal meeting.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.